Can you guys hear the music? We're going to wait a little bit for other participants and use the opportunity to connect to our spirit. I've discovered that's my nature. I have a gentle nature. Very good.
How did you discover that?
Take a few minutes, beautiful women, to breathe deeply. And just enjoy yourselves. And I'm going to ask you all to mute yourselves, okay, please, because otherwise... Exactly, perfect. Thank you so much. Just a few minutes. You can also place your hands on your heart. This helps us connect to our hearts. While we breathe deeply. You do know that when you breathe deeply, your body cannot feel stress. And we don't want to be in stress. Just 2 more minutes. This music helps me to connect to my spirit and get out of my ego. So nice to see all of you here. Okay. Yeah, 1 more minute. Because we are such beautiful creatures. And we don't spend enough time in awe of ourselves. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to stop the music. Okay. Thank you for being here, beautiful women. Eugenia, lindo verte. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, thank you to our beautiful friends, Julia, Jenny. So good to see you. Okay, and the others, I can recognize your names. Hello, Sataf. Ah, I love it. And Naomi and Parvin, I don't know her personally, but I guess I'm going to soon. Okay, so you know what? I wanted to have this conversation, okay, with you guys, because it is such a shame that we are not creating the lives we really want because simply because we're not appreciating ourselves enough. We're not appreciating our lives enough, right? We're not appreciating what life is giving us enough. And this is the only reason, right, that life cannot appreciate us the way it wants to appreciate us, right? Um, I call this living in the ego, okay? Living in the ego. Remember, you guys, what is the ego? The ego is this part of us, okay? The ego is this, let me silence my phone. The ego is this part of us that wants us to stay, listen to this word, in predictability. In predictability. What does that mean? Because remember that the ego, right, is afraid of everything new, anything new. That's why when we say, no, you know what, I want to be rich, I want to be a millionaire, right? The ego is like, what? Are you crazy? We've never been that, so I am super scared. Haven't you seen the celebrities that become rich and then they overdose, right? They kill themselves, right? How can you want that? No, forget it. And the thing is that the ego always has the last word. Right, you guys? The ego always has the last word. So it doesn't matter how hard we try to do something, how hard we try to achieve something. The ego is like, no way, no, that's scary. We are not going there. And the ego will have a way of sabotaging us, right? That is like mind blowing, right? I'm sure you've all experienced that. Like, how could it be? How could this happen? But the ego is there, like, no, I don't care what you do, it's not going to happen. And beautiful women, because we're all women here, this is why we cannot appreciate our lives, because we're always comparing ourselves and look at her and what she did, and look at Jennifer Lopez, right, what she's doing, right? And we are so afraid, you guys, of judgment. Oh my God, but if I fail, what is my family gonna say? And I got divorced. Oh my God, what are my friends gonna say? What are the people at church gonna say? Right? And we're always afraid of judgment because we are always judging, which is a thing of the ego. For some of you who are Christian or know the Bible, you know, when the Bible says we're in paradise. And then it says that we committed the first sin. We ate this fruit from the tree of good and evil. And for a long time, I asked God, the universe, what does this mean? You know? And I got the answer. You know what that means? That we are judging what is happening to us every time as it's either good or it's bad. If it's good, we are happy. If it's bad, now we're sad, we're down, we're feeling bad, right? And that's why we are in a roller coaster of emotions all the time, right? Something would happen. I'm happy. Now it's bad. Now I'm down. Happy, down. Sometimes we wake up. I don't even know what I have. I'm just tired. So, but I'm down, right? And so when we are in judgment, I want you to realize this. We are in the ego. And the same way that we're going to judge something as good, the same way we're going to then judge the next thing as bad. Okay. And then we're going to go to where I want to take you, right? But most of us have been raised by parents who are in the ego. We live in a society that is totally ego based, right? So the ego is also always just deriving our value from external factors, right? So we're always giving, the ego gives personal meaning to what happens in our lives. All right, always. So I shared with my group and something that happened to me, and it was somebody that from a friend, not a friend, somebody I knew for many years, that sent me a message insulting me. Okay, it was on Messenger, and like insulting me like from everything, that I am materialistic, that I am old now, who do I think I am, that I am what was it, elitist, that I mean, so much that I'm gonna divorce again. You know, what do you think? Why do you display that man? You're gonna divorce again. I'm not even married, but and you know what, you guys? In the past, that would have crushed me, destroyed me, which happened to me many years ago. The same thing happened to me with another lovely lady from church, and there are a lot of hurt people in church, and it literally, I had to go to the hospital and I had to get cortisone. I had to take cortisone for several months because of the opinion of one woman, whereas many other women were telling me you're amazing. One was telling me I was crap, and that's the one I believed, right? So now, when this woman insulted me last week, it was perfect because I realized, first of all, you guys, when we realize that we can choose not to live in the ego, but to live from the spirit, then you know what? We don't take anything personal. When she told me those things, I got so much good out of it because I realized, one, wow, I've grown so much that this doesn't crumble me, this doesn't affect me, right? And two, I could see, you know what, you guys, yeah, actually, I am a little bit of all those things. A little bit of all those things. It's true. Whereas when we're in the ego, then I would have spent all my energy. How can you say I'm materialistic? I am like 100% spiritual, right? Whereas actually, none of us are. How can you say I'm old when I look so good? Actually, no, it's true. I am a little bit old. I am 56 years old, right? So when we get out of the ego and into the spirit, we start seeing everything, beautiful people, as perfect because it has a perfect role in our lives. It is there to show us. When I was sick with cortisone that time, it showed me, oh my God, I am deriving my value from what other people say, and especially from the negative comments, because I had so many people saying good things about me. I know, but that I didn't appreciate. And it brings me to my new point, to my next point. That's what we're doing. We are not appreciating our lives enough. You realize that. We are not appreciating our lives enough. Whenever I say, oh, but look at her, she's so pretty, I'm not appreciating my beauty. Whenever I say, oh, but look, she's so successful, I'm not appreciating my success. Right? Whenever I compare myself to somebody, I'm just not appreciating myself. Whenever I doubt myself, I'm not honoring myself. Actually, you know what I'm doing? I am betraying myself, right? I whenever I belittle myself, well, 10 people are telling me I do good, but that's not a big deal. Oh well, but I did a master's in Scotland, but I mean anybody could have done that, right? Whenever we belittle our achievements, we are just betraying ourselves. And then of course life is going to betray us. Then we find out, oh, our partner betrayed us. Yeah, because we don't see our value as women, right? Or, oh no, our client betrayed us, our friend betrayed us, because we are betraying ourselves first, right? So what else happens in the ego? The ego tells us we are not enough. The ego tells us that the ego, sorry, creates so many bad feelings for us. I want you to understand this. When you're feeling guilty, oh yeah, if I could ask, could everybody please mute themselves? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna mute. I want to tell you something. When you are worrying, you're in the ego. What does that mean? That you are seeing your life as just this little person in life, lost, and you have little power because you're not God. You don't even know why you're here, right? You're in the ego. Whenever you feel insecure, it's because you are disconnected from your divinity, right? You're in the ego. Whenever you feel whatever it is, shame, loss, scarcity, anger. Anger is, how could this happen? This cannot happen, right? We want to force somebody to do our will because we are not connecting to our spirit. And I think we all know here that we are actually a spirit, right? Living an earthly experience. That's what we really are, right? And this body is going to dissolve one day, disintegrate, but our spirit will continue to live. So when else are we in the ego? Whenever we don't trust, beautiful people. Whenever we are worrying, it means we are not trusting in life. Whenever we are doubting our decision, we are not trusting in ourselves, right? The ego to me is synonymous with fear. Ego, fear. Whereas think about it. I want you to realize, like, we have this amazing gift called life. Like, it's so amazing. And whenever you feel bad about whatever it is, I didn't get the money, I didn't get the partner, I didn't get the job, and then now I'm depressed. What you are saying is actually that, oh, that job, that partner, or that money is more important than life, than my life, right? That's what you're saying. Because if your life was more important, okay, well, I didn't get a partner, but I'm still so happy to be alive. Like, my happiness comes from being alive. And beautiful people, this is the way how you can get out of the roller coaster of emotions, right? By understanding, hey, I am just so freak. My happiness comes from being alive, having this gift that I get to do what I want. And that's why I called it, it's your freaking life. Why? Because I want you to take full ownership of your life. You are not here to live the life that your parents would like you to live, right? My mom is still mad that I got divorced. My sister doesn't speak to me because I got divorced. You're not here to live the life to please others. And actually, one of the things that liberated me the most was when I really started to say, I don't care what people think of me. I don't care how they see me. I don't care if I look bad in their lives, right? Because it's my freaking life. And because it's your freaking life, you get to choose your values. So maybe the most important values for your family is you have to work so hard and succeed at any cost. Okay, maybe that's not your value. You're like, I've decided for myself, I want easy things. I want to manifest things. Some people in my family think I'm crazy. That's okay, right? So maybe somebody says, no, you cannot divorce. Oh my God, and you even divorced twice. Oh my God, or 3 times. I mean, you're a total loser. No, you can say, well, it's taken me a while to find out who my ideal partner is, right? You are choosing, you're saying, you know what, you're staying in a bad relationship because you don't want to divorce your whole life. That's fine. Or you're staying in a crappy company your whole life, right? Because you don't dare to move. That's your choice. But because it's my life, I choose my values. I choose my values. I choose how I want to live it every day. And you know what, you guys, unapologetically, right? Like, without having to apologize to anybody. This is how we want to live. So, one of the biggest mistakes that women like us do, and when I say women like us, yeah, it's like women who can be called people pleasers. Now I call ourselves gentle, okay? We are gentle women with a gentle energy, but we are also really strong. But one of the main mistakes that we make is not only that we want people's approval, but that we belittle ourselves. You guys, we are dishonoring ourselves. Every time we say, oh, it's not important. Oh, well, every time we don't listen to our feelings, we don't pay really attention to our feelings, we are dishonoring ourselves, right? Every time we feel like, no, I don't really like it. Like this, I used to do this all the time. I would go buy something and I would be like, well, I don't really like it, but it's on sale, and the color is not so bad. So I will get it. What was I doing? I was settling. And you know what happens when we settle? And when actually we do have the choice, but we choose to settle, we disconnect from our heart. Okay. And we have been raised our whole lives to disconnect from our lives ever since we are children. When we were little and we were sad and somebody told us, that's nothing. You don't have to cry. We disconnected from our hearts, right? Whenever we wanted something and our parents told us, hey, made us feel guilty. How can you want that? It's too expensive. No way. You buy this. You get this, right? We disconnected from our hearts. And a lot of my clients, when they come to me, they feel like they tell me, oh my gosh, Barbara, I have a hard time knowing what is that I want. What is my purpose? What do I like? Even with men. Well, yeah, I kissed him. I mean, I didn't really like him, but just kind of in the moment because they're so disconnected from their hearts. And I know it because I was there too, right? So, how do we want to live? We want to live so connected to ourselves, so in awe, beautiful, beautiful people. I want you to feel in awe of your life. Like it's a freaking miracle to be here. And even if you believe in reincarnation and you think, well, I'm going to come back over and over again. Okay. But this iteration of your life is one time. This Barbara here from Latin America with dark hair and short and whatever, are living in Switzerland, it's one time. And I want to make the best of it, right? So we want to live. I want you to go from like, well, yeah, right? This life so many times that we live and routine, well, off, at least is comfort zone, to a life where we realize and we recognize the miracle in everything. Okay, in everything. Oh my God, what a miracle that I have two arms and two legs and I can see. And I live in Switzerland and I can speak four languages and that whatever it is to live in awe, right? Like, oh my gosh, and wow, the way I think and on the way I like. And this is the thing, beautiful people, that we're not connected really deep, deep, deep with ourselves. We don't even know ourselves. Like I'm super spontaneous. Like I cannot plan anything. Like really, I have such a hard time planning things. And then I would write before, like, oh no, but I'm not good at planning, and my partner's super good at planning, and sometimes he makes fun of me. And then what happens? Sometimes I would feel bad until I was like, wait, he cannot improvise, right? He's really good at planning, but he cannot improvise. And I'm like somebody I can like improvise almost anything. So you know what? I'm gonna accept that about myself and I'm gonna own it and I'm gonna find it delicious and I'm gonna amplify it, right? Because only when we recognize our beauty, then this it's only then that we can use it to our advantage, right? Otherwise, we can have a treasure our whole lives, but the treasure is like buried in the ground, right? Buried in the ground. So the spirit, the opposite of the ego. The spirit is what? The spirit is learning to live, you guys, from a different perspective. A different perspective. The first thing is to accept. Accept everything, beautiful people, the way it is happening in your life right now. You want to flow with life? You start by accepting whatever it is that is happening right now. It could be whatever. Oh, I got laid off. Whatever big things. My partner left me. My child is very sick. Whatever it is. If you want to surrender to life and not be in the ego, the first thing is to accept things as they are and see them even more as perfect. Because the truth is, the universe is love. And if the universe has allowed that in your life, I guarantee you, it's because that's the least painful thing that you can go through to get your attention, to get you to change the way life wants you to guide you, right? Because life, this is the thing, you guys, the universe will always try to lead you away from ego because it knows that ego is suffering, away from ego and into a life of the spirit. because it knows that it's only in the spirit that we can have like permanent joy, not joy for 5 minutes because I bought myself a handbag, right? And then the next day I'm depressed, right? But it knows that only life in the spirit will lead you to permanent happiness. Because how can it not? If you start seeing everything as perfect, then why would you feel down, right? Why would you feel down? If somebody insulted me and I saw it as perfect, then that means I don't feel down. I don't feel bad. I can continue with my project. Because you know what happens to a lot of us? We are not constant, right? We stop, we start, and then we stop. We start, oh yeah, I did a master class. Oh no, but only two people showed up. So that means that that's not really for me. So then I stop the whole thing. And actually, this is not for me. And that's it. I stop, right? Whereas if you see it as perfect, you know what you would say? Only two people showed up. That means that this is what I am ready for right now. Because it is true. Actually, you don't want more than you can handle, right? Imagine I would have had maybe now 1,000 people here. My nervous system maybe would not be able to handle it because the jump is too big, right? So the more we trust the universe, the more we trust life, the more we can surrender, the more we see it as perfect. And then the more blessings we have, then the better our life evolves because we are just flowing with life instead of trying to go upstream and fighting and frustrated and impatient. And why isn't this happening? Because all of that, what is suffering? Yes, Julia, exactly. Very good, Julia, that you mentioned that. And Julia says, interesting perspective to be ready for the current situation. Exactly, Julia, because what happens, you guys, now people are like, oh, but two banks in the US closed, and look at what's happening with Credit Suisse, right? But we forget, you guys, that there have always been problems. Always. Remember when it was COVID, you guys, and everybody was acting like this is the end of the world and the end of humanity, the end of humanity. And I mean, oh my God, right? But some people, at the same time that those people were going bananas, some people were seeing the opportunity, and a lot of people got a lot richer through the COVID, the pandemic, than before it, right? So what we want is to live from that perspective. And you guys, the immediate value, the immediate benefits is that, first of all, the suffering stops because if everything is perfect, right? Then I'm just here like, I accept. And then when we accept, you guys, I want you to see this. When we accept, look, if I say accept, I'm like, then I can see the opportunity. When I don't accept, I'm like, no. Look, imagine like a little child, right? Doing a tantrum, like, no, this cannot be. And I go, no, and this is so frustrating. And oh, I hate this. Woo. Like when we're in that situation, like when we're acting like that, we cannot see the opportunity, right? We cannot see the beauty. And this is exactly what's happening to a lot of us. We are like that about our past. Oh, but I should not have done that. And yeah, and why did I grow up in a family that, my mom is such a difficult person, and my dad, he abandoned us. And right? And we are trying, right, you guys, to change the past when if you go and see it from the spirit, you're gonna understand, that's exactly where my treasure is. Exactly the difficult things we went through. That's our treasure. For a long time, I couldn't understand why did I divorce when you guys before I got married. I asked God, the universe, put whatever word you want makes you feel better. I asked God, I need a sign. I need a sign that I'm going to marry the right person because this is such an important decision and I'm so indecisive. And so I don't want to make the wrong decision here. You guys, It's unbelievable. But actually, I met a person one time that stayed in my house. I mean, such a series of coincidences. She stayed in my house one day. It was a Christian woman, and that day I was sick. I couldn't go to work, and so she said, "I'm gonna pray for you." And then when praying, she told me, "God has shown me you're gonna marry a man that his name is like Raul. It's not Raul, but kind of like Raul." I was like, "Oh wow, God, you're amazing. Thank you." What happens? Take it, I don't know. 7 months later, I win the scholarship. I'm going to do an MBA in Scotland. The first day of classes, I look at the list of the students. Is there Raul here? Raul? No, Raul. I'm like, okay, well. But that's the first day of classes. I become friends with this guy, this Frenchman. His name is Serge, not Raul. And then we start this friendship. Okay, and then after like 3 months, like the energy starts changing. Now he's like interested in me, and then one night he kisses me, and when he kisses me, I'm like asking God, like in my mind, I'm like not in the kiss. I'm like, God, tell me, is this the person you have for me? Is this the person you have for me? God, tell me. You guys, I heard a voice in my spirit, in my mind, that told me, Raoul is Roux-Levrat. Roux-Levrat. That was the last name of that Serge, Roux-Levrat. And the woman had told me it's not Raoul, but it sounds like that. So imagine for a Spanish speaking person, like Roux-Levrat is like how can you? I still gonna pronounce it properly. And it's my last name. So I was like, but God, if you really told me so concretely, so precisely, yes, you're gonna marry a guy who is Roux-Levrat, and I married him, why did I end up divorcing? And then I got the answer. Because you guys, that is my path. Because it was that path, marrying this man who was very narcissistic, because I was codependent, that was my path to figure out, oh, I'm a codependent. I'm a people pleaser. I don't value myself. I don't believe in myself. So he doesn't believe in me either, right? I'm so indecisive. So he was making all the decisions, even the decisions that I truly didn't want, right? But I realized that was my path. And then, isn't it so perfect, beautiful people, that because of that path, and I found my mission, to empower women like me who don't believe in enough in ourselves, who don't value ourselves, right? And then know how to change to actually, we don't need to become a we're not. I thought for a while, I need to become this woman and start to fight because I had to fight with him and it was against my nature. And beautiful people, the universe wants to make it so much easy for us. The universe wants to fight our battles. The universe wants to do the things that we cannot do. The problem is that we have such a hard time allowing, accepting. You know what I said? That we need to accept the bad? Guess what? We also need to accept the good. And that's something that we don't dare to do. We're not used to it, right? When we are thinking of having more money, more clients, more success, right? We have a musician here. What happens? I no, no, that's scary. No, 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 no. Our nervous system, our ego is like, no, no, we never had that. No, 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 no. We cannot have it. We cannot have it. So we need to get used to what we want before we have it, right? Actually, how did I get out of that relationship, my marriage, and how did I manifest a man that was like, wow, what I really wanted? It only happened when I started to get used to falling in love head over heels in love, because that's something I never did with my husband, although I loved him, but it was never head over heels. Because when I was young, I didn't want to lose the control. I thought that's so scary to like love somebody with all your heart. Oh my God, then they can break your heart, right? So, but this time I was, you know what I was doing, you guys? I was every night, I would read a romance novel. It's true. I was reading romance novels, and I would put myself in the skin of the woman that was like meeting this man that was so amazing, and she was falling head over heels for him, and everything happened so serendipitously, right? Like it wasn't planned; it just happened. And then that same thing happened to me, and so fast. Like it wasn't even 2 months that then I met this man when I didn't expect it at all. And it was exactly what I had asked God for. And we fell in love that same day, the both of us when we met. Isn't that isn't that miraculous? That's the life that the Spirit wants to give us of miracles, not of hustle, of miracles, not of predictability. Yeah, so, you know, this repeats, gets repeated. So I go from bad relationship to bad relationship, or I go from bad boss to bad boss, or from bad company to bad company, or, I go from bad friendships to bad friendships, right? That's the ego. The ego will keep repeating the same story for you. But when we move to the spirit, then, then we are allowing. That's the only thing we have to do. We are allowing the miracles, right? So let me check the time. Okay, we have a lot of time. So living in the spirit means that I can be happy all the time because my happiness is based on the fact that I am alive. And my happiness is based on the fact that everything that's happening to me is perfect, right? Because it's taking me where I want to go. Actually, you guys, you know what happened to me the other day? I had good news. Like somebody was open for collaboration, and I got like so excited. Oh my God, yes, let me do it. Let me call today. And that same day, I was entering a roundabout, and somebody boom, hit me from the back, and poof, and I was like, oh wow. Anyways, that person's fault, so their insurance will cover. They had an insurance, they were good. We wrote to the paper that we had to write, we signed it, so it was good. But my question then was, oh, universe, I know it's perfect, so I want to understand why did you do it? And then actually I spoke to my coach, and my coach said, okay, well, remember that accidents, like boom, it's something to stop you. The meaning is like stop, right? Like it literally stopped me in my tracks, right? And then I was like, okay. So the meaning is don't rush into this, right? Don't rush. Like think it through, ask for guidance. It could be that it's the right thing, but maybe it's not in the way that you were thinking, right? So then I could see it as perfect. And then I didn't have to be like, oh, bummer, I had an accident and that day I had so many things to do, right? It was like, thank you, universe. Another thing we're going to do when we're in the spirit, beautiful people, is that a lot of us, and I did this for many years, when we try to be spiritual and they tell us you have to be grateful, right? So I would be grateful. I would be like, thank you, God, that I live in Switzerland. Thank you that I have an amazing partner. Thank you that I have two nice kids. Thank you, right? But I was, you guys, always speaking about the past, the past, the past, right? Because the ego also wants likes the past, right? It knows the past. When I change to being grateful for the future, then the miracles multiply. Because this is the key. This is why we're here today. So pay a lot of attention. If our ego, our nervous system is always going to block what is different from us, right? So how can we manifest more money, a better job, right? Whatever. If our nervous system is not used to it. So our job is to imagine that thing in the future that we want while making our nervous system feel super safe, right? Because we know, as a side note, that the nervous system cannot differentiate between something is real or something is imagined, right? That's why when we're in the movies and it's a sad movie, we're crying, although we know that they are actors, but we cry. Or if it's a horror film, we are terrified, although it's not really happening, right? So Isn't that amazing? This is an amazing tool that we have. The nervous system cannot tell the difference. So instead of going over, no, but what happened? But in that relationship, no, but he hurt me, which is how I was many years in my marriage, right? Entangled. This is a word I want to use with you. Entangled in the emotions. The more you get entangled in the emotions, even if you think you're going against it, but the more you are like, oh, but this shouldn't have happened. And oh my God, this happened again. And I don't understand why. And this person was so unfair with me. And oh my God. And for many years, I was thinking all the time, like, oh my gosh, my husband is always getting in a bad mood. And then we always have to fight. It's so bad because I don't like fights. And this is so terrible. That is called emotional entanglement. I want you, every time you are feeling like that, you are in your ego. In your ego. And what happens, because you are focused on that and so powerfully focused, because you're focused with your emotions, not just your thoughts. And our heart waves are 5,000 times, right, stronger than our brain waves. So when you are feeling something, you guys, that's such a powerful magnet. That's going to attract to you whatever it is that you are so entangled with, whether it's good or bad. So if you're like, I don't want to run out of money, I don't want to run out of money, of course you're going to run out of money, right? Or, oh my God, I don't want my kid to fail, I don't want my kid to fail. Of course he's going to fail, right? Because you are calling that in. So what if you would use that power to change your life, to have the life that you really want? That you start to imagine the success. Oh my God, I'm feeling it, right? Oh my God, I am so successful. I have so many followers, right? Or, oh my God, I have the job of my dreams, and to feel it, right? This is the spirit, because the spirit is in those feelings. You guys, the spirit is in that vibration, right? If the universe is love, can you imagine what a high vibration love is? And how all these other vibrations that we spend so much of our lives in, right? They are so low. Whatever it is, jealousy, envy, sadness, anger, disappointment, frustration, da 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 da, etc., etc. If we would just spend more time in the energy of love, and you know what, you guys, it's easier than you think. Incorporate it more in your lives. I've gotten to the point now that if I have to buy pajamas, true, the other day I bought a pair of pajamas. It's true. And then I was like, wait. I don't care if it's something is on discount or la la la. I'm gonna find the freaking pajama that my heart says, yes, right? Yes. So it was the color, it was like this champagne color. I was like, oh my God, this is such a delicious color. And then it was such a nice style, like classic, like I like it, like, oh my God, it's so perfect. And then the material, this material is so soft. I like it. And on top of that, you guys, it was discounted. So actually the price, I also love the price. So I'm like, then I'm going to buy this pajama. And you know what happens? Every time I wear that pajama, I am in a high vibration. Every time I wear it, every time I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, I look so beautiful in this pajama, and it feels so good. And I just love my pajama. So what did I do? I'm in the vibration of love, right? And we can do this with everything in our lives. And think about it. This is why this Marie Kondo method of organizing things, right? You guys know it. Like Marie Kondo is this Japanese woman. She's become famous for organization. And then she comes to a person's house and she says, if you have a big mess and too much stuff in your house, take everything one by one. You look at this thing and you say, does it bring joy to my heart? Like, this is the question. Does it bring joy to my heart? If it does, you keep it. It doesn't, you get rid of it. You get rid of it. This is what we are meant to do with everything in our lives. Imagine if we are surrounding ourselves just with people, things, experiences, right? When we can choose that we love, we are maintaining ourselves in such a high vibration. And the one thing that we need to love above all else, you guys, is our life. Our life, right? Is, oh my goodness. I want you to disregard, beautiful people, for 1 second. Disregard the past. You don't care the mistakes, the word mistakes that you've done, the things you didn't achieve. You don't care. For 1 second, allow yourself to see yourself as like, oh my God, I'm actually this amazing person. I love myself, even my imperfections, even the fact that I cannot plan. I love it, right? Because everything has two sides, right? So no, so I can improvise. So I love it. Imagine if you're really loving yourself, the things that you can attract, you're going to attract more loving experiences, loving experiences, right? It cannot be otherwise. And our tendency, because of what we've learned from the world, is the opposite, just to criticize all ourselves all the time. Oh, actually, it's a miracle how far we've come, right? With already so much negativity in our lives. And you know what? Be a rebel. There are so many negative people in this world. Exactly. And when something bad happens, and oh my God, it was COVID. Then after COVID, okay, no, it's the war, not the war between Russia and Ukraine. It's terrible. No, now it's like, oh my God, no, the banking situation. Oh my God, it's so terrible. And we forget that, hey, remember 2008, right? Remember that was the real financial crisis. These big, huge American banks went down, like completely down. And what? Here we are. Actually, are we poorer than when we were in 2008? No, right? We're richer. We are richer than we were in 2008. So we always have that choice. This is the power. Oh, shoot. You can see something is happening to my connection. Can you guys see me? You can see it's, the connection is bad.
No, we could hear you.
You can hear me? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yes, you could continue.
Okay, thank you then. So hopefully this, let me see, let me take off my stop video and let me see, maybe restart it. Okay, good. And this is, oh shoot. Okay, this is perfect. For some reason, this is perfect. Okay, the good thing is that you can hear me. Okay, good. And this is the thing, beautiful people, the more we resist. Oh, yes, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, universe, for this, because then you reminded me of this point I wanted to make. The more you're resisting what you are judging as bad, as we know, the more it persists, right? The more it persists. When we learn to surrender to life, to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, when we surrender, we're like, okay, instead of making it stop, look, when we surrender, we're like opening up. And then what happens with this thing? This thing can go through, and that's it. And we're away from it, right? So the more we are in conflict, resisting, no, why is this happening? No, why is this happening? No, I don't like it. I'm so frustrated. The more it's going to persist, the more it's you're going on an upstream with life. And we want to flow with life, right? So the more I invite you, this is full surrender. Actually, this is devotion. This is true devotion to life, to the divinity. Is to, okay, I accept. This is perfect. And the more I see it as perfect, the more I'm going to find out what is it that I need to. Maybe it's karma, because it has to go through you, right? Maybe it's part of your destiny and you're just, right? You're just delaying it. So actually, no, go through it. And something I want to say as well is that when we when we are resisting, right, we are making our lives miserable. And we're showing the universe that we don't trust the universe. And imagine if you would tell somebody, your partner, I love you, but I don't trust you. Like, that's tough, right? To say that we love the universe, very good, Julia. It means that we also trust it. And you guys, and we trust ourselves. Even, you know what I realized? I say this to my daughter a lot now. I say, you know what? When she's going through a difficulty, I say, isn't this perfect, Annabelle? Because the universe knows that it needs to strengthen your character, right? Your character is getting so strong, you're becoming such a strong person, and she knows from experience, yeah, mom, it's true, it's so bad to be weak. When we are weak, any little thing makes us crumble, right? So, in conclusion, beautiful people, there are only two paths in life: ego or spirit, fear or trust. We can also call it that. And this path of the ego and the fear leads to suffering all the time. And the path of the spirit and the trust leads to joy, to becoming magnetic, to attracting our dreams to us, right? But we have to surrender. Surrender to the good as well. When we want to control our lives so much, you know what, we cannot even allow the good, because no, it doesn't enter our planet, our mind. No, I didn't imagine it that way. We do this a lot. I didn't imagine it that way, so we cannot allow it. When we're in the spirit, it's like, you have the control, life. You know more than me, and you guide me to things that are better than me, and so I'm gonna let you guide me, and I'm going to just flow, and I'm going to accept, oh, there's something unexpected happened, right? I'm going to get curious. I'm going to be like a child. And you know what? When we're in that energy, is the energy actually that we can ask for anything that when we're controlling, we're like, no, of course I cannot ask for 1 million this year. I cannot ask for that because it doesn't make sense. Because how? Because the how can that happen? I cannot see it happen. So if I cannot see how that's going to happen, I'm not going to even ask for it, right? But when we're in the spirit, I'm like, I have no clue how you can make that happen, right? I have no clue how I can meet somebody in Geneva where there are no good men left, right? I have no clue, but you know what? The universe doesn't need your clues, right? The universe only needs you to surrender and ask and believe and have that trust and anticipation, right? Of a little child, of a child. And that's why Jesus, who was so wise, said, unless you are like a child, you cannot enter the kingdom of God, right? And the kingdom of God is not a place. Oh, wow. No, we know the kingdom of God is an energetic vibration, right? The kingdom of God is an energetic vibration. Is that vibration of like love and joy and oh my God and ecstasy, and I can trust because I know God has me. Like me who went hiking the other day, and then I was like strapped in the in the ice and was gonna die. And then got in a freaking helicopter with a whole team to save us, right? So it's that when we are children, right? Then we can say, God, I have no clue how you're going to do it. I really have no clue. But I trust you. And then God is like, okay, then I can weave my magic. Yeah. And many overachieving women, they are so, that's never been my problem, but I know a lot of them because they've been my clients and they are so into this energy. I have to make it happen. It's up to me. It's up to me. It's up to me. It's up to me. And we are so limited, right? Let's surrender the control. Let's be in acceptance, seeing everything as perfect so that we can be in the right energetic frequency, the frequency where we become magnetic, not to our fears, but we become magnetic to our desires, the things we really want. So this was my presentation. Wow, I've become a Swiss person, so punctual. So beautiful women. Oh, thank you for your heart, Naomi. I said I want to create something. If you guys want to continue in this conversation, continuing this energy, right? And compound it. I made a, thank you, Valentine. It was beautiful to have you here. But before you go, okay, you guys, I would love to start a membership. I would love to start a membership where we meet once a month. And I want to add a 30-minute coaching call, laser coaching with me for that to be included in that membership, okay? I'm going to send you the link because how do I do this now? I'm going to send you the link. But, and yes, and if you feel it in your heart, I would love you to join. Okay, thank you, Henia. I would love you to join and we'll continue the conversation. And we'll continue. Okay, so I'm going to send that to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. I love you. Thank you, NJ. So good to have you here. Thank you, Jenny. You guys, you see, I'm surrounded by beautiful women. What does that say about me? I don't know. And a beautiful man. Let's not forget that Jaime was here. Huh? Oh, and he's a beautiful man. So I don't know if there are any single ladies here. So big kiss and see you soon. Thank you, Naomi. Bye-bye.